Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a THORChain University weekly Friday THORChain recap. These are going to be happening every Friday from now on, just covering THORChain news from the previous week. I am your host, Lushington. Shout out Koitsu for that one. Thought that was pretty good. So in this, I have a lot of tabs that I want to share with you. Some of it is weekly roundups from Q4. Some of it has to do with savers, kind of all over the place here, and a lot of good stuff. So I'm going to get into it with this one. If you have the ability to hit the like button and share this around, if you're over on X, that way we can get it shared to more people. Also, if you have something that you might like to say in the chat, let me know, and I can maybe invite you up here to talk as well about any of the THORChain news. So let's get right on into this. Starting with this, Kenton shared this THORChain Q4 2024 report on Masari crypto. So I went into here and it's got some pretty insightful stuff. I highlighted a few things, want to share a couple things from the chart. So for example, revenue from Q4 2023 to Q4 2024 has done a 300. So I guess this is year over year. So not quarter over quarter, I don't think, or maybe it is quarter over quarter. Yeah, I think it's quarter over quarter. 342% increase, which is insane. So THORChain appears to be starting to generate a lot of revenue. Probably a lot of that comes from affiliates. You know, Trust Wallet is the biggest affiliate. You've got, THORSwap, obviously, like the biggest kind of web browser affiliate there. But what else do we have here? Quarter over quarter DeFi TVL is increased. It has doubled from 180 million to 368 million, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, things just look like they are mostly on the up. I did have this here. So the affiliate revenue, and we're going to get into this. So THORChain average daily volume rose significantly in Q4 from 62 million to 91 million, a 46% increase quarter over quarter. So from the last 3 quarters. As a result, the affiliate fees also grew, and this is massive, 3.2 million to 11.4 million. So anybody out there that's got a wallet or any way to integrate THORChain is just missing out massively if they're not throwing cross-chain swaps into their platforms. At least in my opinion, that's what this seems to show. I got to take my opinions out on this news. This is just the news, but it is pretty big, right? It's pretty big. So I saw this here in November, and I was not able to really think about why this might have happened. In November, it was massive. We had good, affiliate volume. And I say we THORChain, right? I'm not building this thing. Shout out to all the builders and devs building this stuff. I just think it's cool. So I'm just talking about it. But the affiliate volume seemed to drop. So I did post out there. I'm going to come back to that. Familiar Cal's got some good graphics. But why might that have happened if you looked at this chart and you were thinking the same thing? And Odin and someone else had a good point. Rise in Bitcoin through centralized exchanges and brokers by institutional buyers. Because if you remember, around this time in November, Bitcoin's price took off. But that volume came through centralized exchanges, probably from institutions and really big players. And then we had the holidays, which I hadn't really thought of. So all of the retail investors are on a holiday. So they're not using any of the decentralized stuff, or they're using it just a little bit less. So that could explain this chart in terms of why the affiliate volume sort of went down towards the end of the quarter. What else did we get? Updates in Q4, the incentive pendulum. If you aren't aware, the LPs get some of the benefits from swap fees and block rewards, and the nodes get some as well. And I guess that they have made that, they have refined it, is the word that they used here. So it's better now. So the LPs are getting the majority of the fees. If you go and look at the incentive pendulum, Familiar Cal's got rune.tools. Go look at that and you could see the balance of how that goes. And I think that's all I really want to highlight here. Oh, and THORSwap too launched an official referral program. So if you wanted to, you can create your own referral link for THORSwap. And that's how you can also help with generating volume through THORChain, is to use a referral link. And if you wanted to offer something for people to use your link, you can contact them and they'll manually make it so you can split your share so you could give some to the people using the link and you get some. So you can actually say, hey, save some money if you click on my link, which is pretty cool. Familiar Cow had some cool, I mean, he's got the whole article here, but some really cool graphics. So $30 million in liquidity fees were collected. Affiliates almost made as much as liquidity fees generated, which I thought was crazy. So it's wild to not be an affiliate. Affiliate seems to be the way to go. It kind of looks like, you know what I mean? So I thought that was a good thing to point out. And then the top swaps, Bitcoin to Rune. That's kind of cool. You know what I mean? Bitcoin to Ethereum, ETH to Rune. So some swaps into Rune from like the big coins, and Tether into Rune. So none of the biggest swaps were Rune. Well, I guess maybe this is swap routes. So between these two routes. So it's not two. So it's just between. So, okay, Bitcoin and Rune, Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of the ones we would somewhat expect. And I'm sure this Bitcoin Tether pool did pretty good in terms of APRs. What else do we got? I thought this was pretty cool. So do you guys see this chart? And charts like this, where you've got top 10 chains by revenue or profit, or just all these kind of charts that come out. And it seems like THORChain is never on the chart. I'm guessing that is because you have to pay for something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but these are obviously some big L1s here. AVAX, Binance, Solana, Tron, Base. And someone threw this on here. I don't know who did the original picture, but this is just kind of awesome, right? THORChain is doing better than Arbitrum, Binance, Avalanche, Ton Injective in fees, in revenue generated, which is awesome. So how do we get it then to where THORChain is just included in charts like this? Well, I speculate you got to pay for it. So Kenton and Scorched are heading this up. So Ken here says, you talk to a community member of the Treasury and they are on board for marketing, for paid marketing. So they're looking for KOLs and marketing agencies. It looks like they got a couple mentioned here. I went and scanned the comments. Market Across and Coinboundio. And then Kenton did make it clear. His goal is to get users, not brand awareness, which personally I think is huge. I think, THORChain has been in the top 50, I think maybe at some point, or it was hanging around in the like mid 60s for a period of time there. So I don't think brand awareness is necessarily even a problem, although you might argue. So I'm not really trying to inject my opinion too much here. But I do think users increase volume increases the APYs in the pools, makes people want to participate. More participation is more demand, which is good for THORChain, right? So I think that's good. There's going to be a legit marketing spend now for THORChain. So we'll have to see where that goes. Introducing Kraken swaps in the wallet. OKX was integrated just recently, and they're like one of the top. I think they're climbing up the ranks of top affiliates. I don't have the data for them right in front of me. Trust Wallet, as we already mentioned, is huge. Coinbase wallet, I'm not sure of theirs either and where they might be on there. Maybe I'll have to look at that for like a separate video. But Kraken, if Kraken, Jesse, the founder of Kraken, he's very cypherpunkish if you ever follow any of his tweets. So he believes in decentralized swaps. Absolutely, for sure. So if THORChain can get into the back end of the Kraken wallet doing swaps in there, then that's why I'm sharing this. I don't know what's going to happen, but a lot of THORChain people obviously are mentioning it, probably already reaching out, trying to get this going. So we're going to have to see what comes of that. But I don't think the THORChain community will probably let them alone. So they're probably already maybe in contact. I don't know. But I just thought that was pretty cool. So base swaps are now live. Base happened first, and then I think it was like another churn, and then they got the pools in there, and now you can actually do some swaps on THORSwap, for example, I believe. So the following assets are now available for swaps: Base ETH, USDC, and the Bitcoin, the wrapped Coinbase Bitcoin, which is awesome. But it's not even just Base, right? There are going to be a lot more GEMA through this out here. So they've been working on Solana for a while. Tron now, it seems like that is potentially not that far out, like maybe first half of the year. I don't know when, right? I'm not an insider. I don't know any of the insider information either, right? So I'm just kind of like conveying this as I see it. Tron could be soonish. Ton, I'm pretty sure they've been working on. And then Jack, I forget his last name, from Strangelove, Jack Zampolin, something like this, I think. He was alluding to the fact that XRP might come on very soonish. I read comments on that as well. Some people think it might help THORChain volume. Some people not so much. You know, just depending on where you think XRP. A lot of people think XRP holders mostly are just centralized. They don't really care about DeFi or anything like that. So will there necessarily be volume? I'm not sure. But if you were a trader, if you look at some of these perps or spot order book markets, if you could trade XRP on a perp dex with leverage, you probably might have done that. I know there's a lot of degens out there, right? So that would be more volume, even if it's just purely for trading, not necessarily for hodling, that in THORChain has a potential then to capture some of that volume. Tron is known for stable coins, I believe. Ton is the Telegram thing. I don't know necessarily. I don't personally about Ton. And then Solana, obvious, right? And there's already a lot of Solana. Chainflip, I think, has that right now. They're the only ones with that, I think. So that is good news as well. A lot of chain integrations. I know Pluto has said, or Strangelove has the mandate of 6 chains in 6 months, and also to have the block speed, so to speed it up, which is awesome, right? And that's going to be good for Rujira as well. Rune is still burning. I'm not sure if this is going to continue. I'm not sure how most people feel about the burn, but it is, you know, on a slight uptrend. So you might think that that just means that THORChain volume is increasing, but it also depends on, and I'm not speculating on Rune price. I'm just saying this is a fact, that when Rune's price drops, more Rune is burned, assuming the volume stays the same. So that might be why this looks like it might look, right? And then if you don't know about Rune tools already, you can go and check on the supply. There's also a bunch of really cool stuff in here. So I just wanted to give this a shout out. It's got literally a lot of things that you might want to consider looking at over here. So shout out to Familiar Cow with that. And I don't know what's going to happen with this burn. You know, there is lending, and we're going to talk about that actually, I believe, coming up here soon, maybe next. So lending, this big news, right? Coinbase, Bitcoin-backed loans are here. So you can borrow USDC against Bitcoin, so you don't have to sell your Bitcoin, rolling out to users, except New York. So it's, right, starting now. More collateral assets in regions to come, powered by blah, blah, blah. Who cares, right? Kind of thing. Okay. Neutral, staying neutral on this one. So you've got some people, Rex here made a comment. So some of this is me reading the comment section, sharing some thoughts around the horn on it. If you're using a centralized, and keep in mind, THORChain has lending. It is in its way out on the base layer, but Rujira is going to have lending, which some people are excited about. Many people probably don't even know about, including Rex probably. But this is just something to consider. If you're using a centralized KYC service, having to also over collateralize your loans, then it's not an update to the existing financial system. You collect similar information on users, right? You have to have your ID, all this stuff that institutions that offer under collateralized and unsecured loans do. So not only do they collect all your information, but they also want you to over collateralize your loans. So you can go this route if you want to go this route, but obviously there will be other routes that THORChain offers. And this is Paul from, which wallet is this? Paul from Edge Wallet, right? This is not DeFi. And this is why THORChain is beneficial. DeFi doesn't have borders. You can't even use it in New York. And it doesn't need to be accessed through a custodian company, right? So THORChain just, right, trying to solve this same situation, which is cool. And then you've got this as well with Coinbase. This guy has a hiccup with his wedding because Coinbase froze his deposits. And they won't tell him why, and they won't unfreeze it. So if you don't have to use that, then you don't want to have to use that. But actually, I want to keep it positive, right? Because Coinbase Base is a layer 2. They're integrated with THORChain. So hopefully we can all work together and move things away from, I think Brian Armstrong even had a tweet that said eventually centralized exchanges don't need to exist anymore. So I think he's on the same page, just maybe trying to like move everything over there. And it's kind of baby steps. I talk to people at the gym about crypto when I can. And I'm like the only person at the gym that really has any crypto still, right? So still, at least in my opinion, the awareness is there, but it's up to you to decide how early you really think we are. And then when it comes to THORChain, there was a lending, a bit of a run on it. Nothing too crazy, at least in my opinion. And that has tapered off. So lending looks like it's probably back to normal in terms of the closeout trajectory. You can't take any new loans out, but this is just where you would look at that. And yeah, and then it looks like on the next churn, which is going to happen in a day or so, Coinbase's Bitcoin is going to be, there's going to be a pool. So you'll be able to do the swaps on THORSwap. So we'll see how much volume that brings along. Will people want to wrap into Coinbase's version, or will they be doing a lot of unwrapping? We're going to have to see the kind of volume. And I actually don't, Wrap Bitcoin is still here doing decent, right? 24-hour volume, 3 million on a $10 million pool. So we'll have to see how that goes. So yeah, and there's 10K Rune has contributed. I already just got ahead of myself there. And this is great. Boone shared this. New savers deposits are paused on THORChain. So you had the two liabilities on THORChain. You had savers and you had lending. And lending was already stopped. And like we said, it's slowly closing out. And then savers is another liability, but that has been also paused. So you cannot add more savers to the savers anymore. That is going to be moved to the app layer. So one way that, and actually that is going to be Nami Protocol, who I just interviewed yesterday. They are the new savings platform. I just had a moment where my brain didn't work there. Savers, they're going to be doing savers on THORChain. And I'm excited to see what that's going to look like. They're going to be a primitive that other dApps on Rujira can build on top of. Maybe you have other hedging strategies or vaults, and part of what they do is they just earn single-sided staking in the savers vaults over on Nami Protocol, which is going to have their own token as well. So it's really nice chatting with JP Kuji about this one, and I'm looking forward to savers because that's actually, I think a lot of people get into crypto for the savers. They want the ability to earn yield safely outside of TradFi, right? I write air quotes, and this is an option there. And if you want to watch the unwind of savers, 2 days ago or so, I'm watching this number because I know that values can fluctuate throughout the day, right? So if you're just looking at total saved, savers could leave, but this could still increase. So I'm just looking at the unique savers number, and let me just refresh really quick. It was 7427 when I first looked at it. So it's down about 60 people. So some people are leaving, but again, that's a very slow pace. So nothing to be worried about based on my 1 day data sample. So keep that in mind also as well. My protocol, I guess they went to the ECC summit, and I just saw this there. They're going to have Zcash. Cardano is still, and then I think in the future they're going to have Caspa as well. So that should be good. That should be some cool access points for those projects that I don't think have decentralized ways to access them, at least right now. I know Caspa doesn't for sure. I don't think Zcash does either. Cardano, I can't really be too sure on Cardano, to be honest. But this will be cool. They got some integrations coming over there on my protocol. And then lastly, just wanted to shout out Multisig. This guy, right, made this post. So came across this here. His friend got, and I hadn't seen this one before. So you just got to work out because these scammers are clever. These scammers are clever, man. So my friend got scammed on Etsy. He ordered a Bitcoin seed phrase physical safe from Space Mule Trading. They asked for the seed phrase to personalize the product, and he sent it thinking it was an engraving. Soon after, obviously, you know what happened after that. But look at that. Ah, such a bummer. Hopefully it wasn't a lot of money. But if you use Multisig, just try it out, maybe, right? If you want to, with small amounts of money, just to see what it's like. You got to see what it's like. There's no private key and there's no seed phrases. And it's just files that you can float around or store wherever it is that you want. And it just you turn all your devices into a hardware wallet. It's really cool. Like it's like I said here, complete paradigm shift. But that's all I got for the for THORChain news today. I don't see any chats. If anyone wants to come up and talk about anything, you can obviously do that. I was thinking about this too. I was like, on Twitter Spaces, you know, I listen to those, and a lot of people, they come up to chat, but there's no face. They don't have to show face. You don't have to show your face on here if you don't want to. You can come up and chat without an avatar, right? Or with just an avatar. But if you want to talk about any news, or if you're watching this and you have something cool to share, then drop something in the chat, and I can pull you up for future news live streams. But these are going to be happening every Friday. We're talking about THORChain, Rujira, my protocol, probably, I'm assuming, throw some Multisig maybe in there as well, like I did on that last one. But just trying to stay up to date with everything that is happening in THORChain throughout the week is the goal of this live stream. And then at the end, like I said, there'll be chat times like this. You know, this is 22 minutes of just like straight hammering you with news. So if you want to come up and chat about any of the news, and I can send you a link, you could DM me over on Twitter. I can send you a link, and then you could be up here. And just like a Twitter space, like raising your hand, you just come up and then you're on video. And then we could pull up different things on the screen. We could search up some stuff, all related to THORChain, and kind of go from there. But that's going to be it this one. I won't keep you on because I don't have anything else to talk about. So I hope you got some value out of this. I'll see you on Thursdays and Fridays on the THORChain University account for sure. And thanks for watching. See you on the next video.